Hey, what's going on, everybody? Joe, Radio 690 ADV. Thank you for stopping in. Thank you for sitting in for another episode of the Radio 690 ADV. Like I said, I'm Joe, your host. Today on the podcast, we're going to talk about ATGATT and what it actually stands for, especially for new riders and things like that, because our channel really is based around a lot of new rider information and help and stuff like that, because it's really needed out there, and we really need to do our best to help out the people that want to start riding and get into dual sporting and adventure riding and things like that, and all the haters and the sarcasm and all that stuff that's out there, because there's way too much of it out there, and we really need to try to work on putting a stop to it, because it's really awful. There's just way too much sarcasm and hate and just flat out old mean out there in the planet today, and especially within social media and stuff like that. People asking questions, not only if it's in social media, but also just in public stuff either. New riders need help, and it's up to us as seasoned riders to do our best to help them out, and that's what today is all about, is ATGATT and things and changes that we need to do to better ourselves, and things that maybe to think about to put ourselves on the right track to help others, because that's really what it's truly 100% all about. First off, before we do anything, big quick shout out, KTM North Texas, slmracing.com. That's slmracing.com. Check them out. Parts, service, anything like that if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth metro area. And if you are not in the Dallas-Fort Worth metro area, you can look them up, give them a phone call, whatever you need. They got parts, everything. They ship nationwide. They will take care of you. Ask for Bert. Tell them 690 ADV. Joe sent you, and he will take care of you 100%. Anyway, on to the show today. Oh yeah, also don't forget, we need sponsors. So please click that little sponsorship button and hit the subscribe button to our podcasts. We really need you. It'll help us. It'll allow us to grow and get new cool stuff. And also it allows us to do a whole lot more giveaways. Okay, on to the podcast today. ATGATT. ATGATT. However you want to spell it, however you want to define it. If you're new to riding, and it mainly was kind of brought in from the dual sport and adventure riding side. As far as I can remember, it's been a while since it's been out, and you see it everywhere. And sorry, I had to take a sip. I'm enjoying a after work brewski because it's delicious and I love beer. But anyway, ATGATT has just been around for a while, and what it stands for, if you're a new rider, is all the gear, all the time. And basically what it means, it doesn't matter who, what, when, where, how. You should basically completely armor to the hilt before you ever hop on a motorcycle. It doesn't even matter if you're just going to ride around in your driveway. And I'm going to have some people out there that go, no, that's not what it means, Joe. Well, that's basically pretty much the way, these adventure guys that are just so pro ATGATT are. They don't care if you're going down to the grocery store, if you're riding around your neighborhood or whatever. You need to completely saddle up with everything on it all the time. It really doesn't matter what you do. That's what you're supposed to do. And I just honestly, ATGATT, it has a place and a purpose, my personal opinion. But the way that it's presented and the way that the guys are so pro ATGATT, and they're just absolutely, if you post any pictures or videos or anything like that, and you're not just all armored up to the hilt, they're like Nazis. I don't mean like a real Nazi, but like a Nazi to ATGATT, and they're just literally totally crazy about it, and they're passionate and all this. And I get it, I totally do. Here's the deal. All the gear all the time. Basically, new riders, if you're listening in on this, which hopefully if you are a new rider and you're learning this for the first time, welcome and awesome. Basically, all the gear all the time basically means boots, armored boots, preferably, pants, riding pants of some sort, whatever, gloves, riding jacket, armored, of course, gloves, helmet, and anything else that you can potentially put on the body. They are just so pro ATGATT. So that's what that means. And I am for parts of ATGATT, okay? I don't want people to think that I'm totally against the ATGATT and all that type of stuff. And there's nothing wrong with gearing up all the time. I think if that's your gig, that's your gig. And I'm okay with that. But my thing is I don't want other riders, just because that's what they feel, to sit there and bash, push, and put other people down because they're not doing what you're doing. That's crap. I don't agree with it. And I'll basically go to the mat with you on it. I've been riding as long as anybody out there. And, I think it's a good idea to have certain things on the body when you're riding, okay? Guys riding in flip-flops, shorts, a tank top, no gloves, no helmet. That's just, if that's what you want to do, man, go do it. It's stupid. I agree with that. It is stupid. It makes absolutely no sense. And I just think that, it's not a question of if, it's probably when something will happen to you because of your carelessness. And I wish nothing bad on anybody. But at the end of the day, if that's how you're handling yourself riding your motorcycle, the odds are something's probably going to happen to you. Okay, that's just going to be honest. But to sit there and to hammer down on somebody because they're not following the ATGATT rules, is it's totally that person's whatever they want to do. It's them. It's their choice. It's what they want to do. Don't push your visions on somebody else just because, it's not, they're not doing what you want them to do. Okay. Don't be a dictator. Don't sit there and just sit there and say, oh, I'm going to change the world one ATGATT person at a time. Well, that's never going to happen. And that's never going to happen with me, especially me. Here's the deal. If you ever see me on any of my videos, and I mean almost 500 of them that I have made, I've had more ATGATT bashing than I can literally count. If I got $1 for every time I got bashed for ATGATT, I'd make more money than I've ever made on YouTube. So here's the deal. If you ever catch me riding without long pants on a video, and every once in a while, you'll see me without gloves. I don't think it's a good idea to ride without gloves, but for what I'm doing around for shooting my video, I know the area I'm at. It's very low traffic. It's very little anything. I'm willing to accept the risk by not wearing gloves. I don't need somebody to sit there and try to preach to me and tell me, oh, you're not wearing gloves. But anyway, back to the videos of me riding, 90% of the time I'm wearing gloves. And the number one thing, this is the one thing that I totally am just 100% for. And if you're a new rider and you are, getting out and you're learning this type of stuff, I agree with everybody. Wear your helmet. If you ever see me riding without my helmet, there are times that I've done it just riding and showing somebody something and stuff like that. And I probably should wear my helmet. So, I am somewhat a small hypocrite when it comes to some of that stuff, but like traveling and things like that, you'll never catch me without a helmet, ever. It will not happen. You're not going to catch me shooting a video without a helmet. You're not going to catch me riding down the highway without a helmet. You're never going to catch me riding down the highway, without a helmet and gloves and boots. That's not going to happen, but I am also going to get into the ATGATT and when do I follow ATGATT to the people standard, that's out there. My thing is the number one thing, if you're a new rider, this is what I personally feel, and it's not my place to push you or to, make you do anything, really. I mean, you do what you want to do. It's your body, it's your life, it's your whatever, whether you're married, if you have kids, if you have loved ones and things like that. I hate it like going, oh, well, you got a wife and you got kids. Look, at the end of the day, it is your preference and what you want to do. Granted, is it selfish to ride without gear and things like that? A helmet and things like that if you're married and you got kids and stuff like that? You betcha. It's totally selfish. But at the end of the day, your choice. You can do what you want to do. So I'm not going to sit there and hammer you. If I was to see you riding without a helmet and I knew you, the first thing that I would say, man, you might want to wear a helmet, but I get it. If that's your thing, man, I'm not going to preach to you. You got a wife, you got some kids and things like that, It'd be really cool. You only get one head, and brain injuries, they usually don't end well. So you can you can survive without fingers. You can survive without a hand, a foot, leg, all that stuff. But a brain, it doesn't take a lot to the brain to pretty much boot you right off the planet. So number one, I say, new riders, just be smart about it. Do what you want to do, but I totally 100% stand by wearing helmets. Gloves preferably. If you're going to be driving, around for quite a while, like if you're going out for a jaunt, if you're going to be riding for, say, longer, if you're just riding down to the store and turning around and coming back, maybe getting some gas, it's only a mile away. Well, that's up to you. You should wear your helmet, but gloves and boot and gearing all the way up, that's dumb. I don't care what anyone says. That's dumb, but then you're going to get the guys that are going to go, oh, you know what? Well, most of the bad accidents happened, not less than a mile from your house. So that doesn't make any sense. And if you were wearing all your gear, well, it would be a way different outcome. No, actually, really, believe it or not, your gear's not going to save you. Your jacket's not going to save you from your arm getting broke. It's going to save you from road rash. That's what it's going to do. And some of the jackets that are out there, if you're off-road, yeah, it'll probably help you from getting, poked from a stick. But it depends on how fast you're going, man. It really totally depends on how fast you're going, boots, unless you're using true 100% motocross boots, that's about the only thing that's going to protect you from, like, say, breaking your ankle or breaking something above the ankle on your foot. Even those can give way at times. We're going to have videos on this type of stuff, explaining the differences in boots and stuff like that. We've actually got some videos on our YouTube channel if you're a new rider and you want to check that stuff out. But I just personally think, if you're going to the store, if you're just riding around the neighborhood for, a 10-minute ride, just to get some air on you and just, get away, clear your thoughts, be by yourself on your bike, because that brings so much happiness to you. Man, if you're going and putting your jacket, your boots, your pants, and all that stuff on, if that's what you want to do, do it. But at the end of the day, if somebody's not doing that, man, just leave them alone. Shut your mouth and go about your own deal. You know what I'm saying? You don't know that person. You don't need to sit there and try to preach to somebody. Don't be an evangelist to motorcycle riding. Just shut your mouth. Just shut your mouth. That's my personal opinion. Just shut up about it. And shut up about ATGATT. If you believe in ATGATT, then stick to yourself and you do the ATGATT for yourself and let everybody else handle their own business. Nobody needs your input to sit there and try to sway them into something else that they don't want to do. They're going to do what they want to do. It's their choice. Shut up and leave them alone. I don't get too passionate about many things, but the ATGATT thing and the way that the guys sit there and handle themselves, especially to new riders and even seasoned riders as myself, trying to tell me how I need to take care of myself and how I need to ride. No, shut up. Just leave me alone. Go away. I don't need your help. I've never needed it. I don't know who you are, and I damn sure don't need your input on telling me how to ride a motorcycle. Now, moving on. ATGATT. When do I believe in ATGATT? And it's not my way to push you and tell you this is the way you need to handle your business. You handle your business the way you want to. I am just sitting there and telling you how I handle it, and maybe you have the same vision or the same thoughts or the same whatever, and kudos. But maybe you're a new rider and you're like, well, how does Joe handle himself when he's riding and what he's doing? Because I see him in videos and things like that. Okay, here's the way I handle it. Okay, I like to think of myself as a really good motorcycle rider. Okay, I'm very cautious. I'm very proactive. I'm totally paying attention. I don't look once. I don't look twice. I look 2 to 3 times before I ever make a turn. I am very vigilant on when I'm behind the handlebars of a motorcycle. I'm always paying attention. I am always, and everybody's like, pretend like everybody's trying to kill you. And yeah, that's kind of a thing to think about. But I'm just thinking that, there's just so many people on the road these days. And it's the cell phone. The cell phone is the devil to automotive, okay? Because everybody can't get off of them. Everybody loves them. Everybody's sitting there on them, and they're not paying attention, and you see it everywhere, even when you're in your car. So when you're on a motorcycle, you really have to pay attention because literally you're just a speed bump on a motorcycle. And I don't care what motorcycle you're on. I don't care if you're on a 1,300 pound Harley Davidson or a Goldwing or a 300 pound enduro bike. It doesn't matter what it is. A car wins every single time. And that's what you have to view. And that's what goes through my mind is that basically it's kind of like the law of the jungle for motorcycle riding. It basically starts the number one law of the road. It doesn't matter whether they're right, wrong, driving like crap, whatever. At the end of the day, the semi-truck, the big 18-wheelers are the great white sharks. Okay? If you're looking at it in the food chain, they're great white sharks. And then it drops from there to your big heavy-duty pickups or box trucks. And then from there, you can do the math on that. And then it drops down to, and guess who's last on the food chain? The motorcycles. I mean, literally, we're like the little fish of the sea, and we're always having to cross our T's, dot our I's, P's and Q's, the whole 9 yards. And that's for a reason. So, you just have to be very, very vigilant and make sure that you're totally not just paying attention. It's like if you're, I like to always say that treat a motorcycle like if you're driving a car times 5, 4 or 5, because you have to be that proactive in looking ahead and paying attention to your surroundings when you're on a motorcycle more than any other vehicle on the road. You just have to. So me and ATGATT, getting back to that, I do follow the ATGATT rules. I don't push it on anybody. The only thing that I recommend to everybody is a helmet. I don't care. Please ride with a helmet. Even if you're going to the grocery store and it's a mile from your house, please wear a helmet. It's just so smart to do. But if I'm just riding around my neighborhood, I'm going to wear a helmet. I'll have long pants on. I'll probably wear tennis shoes, and I might wear gloves. I might not wear gloves. If I'm going to be gone for, say, longer than 30 minutes, long pants, helmet, gloves, boots. Okay? That basically means that I'm actually going to go see some stuff, and I'm going to be miles from the house. And I want to make sure that I'm pretty much covered up. I know where I'm going. I don't have to sit there and act like I'm going on an adventure every single time I walk out of my garage and I get on my dual sport bike. That's just not it. So, when do I follow ATGATT to the T? Jacket, riding jacket, like my KTM rally jacket that's fully armored up. It's actually made for rally racing. It's the whole 9 yards. You probably see it if I wear it in the wintertime or when it starts getting cool. That's another time that I wear jackets, even if I'm riding around the block because it's cold outside. But when it's 90 degrees outside, or 100 degrees here in Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas, I don't care what you say. I'm not even listening to you. It's going in one ear and out the other. I'm going to wear a t-shirt. I'm willing to accept the consequences. I'm going to wear a helmet. I'm going to wear long pants. And I'm probably going to wear, depending on how far I'm going, tennis shoes, boots, probably gloves. I am not putting on a riding jacket. I'm not putting on riding pants. I'm not putting all that on. I am not going to sweat till I feel like I'm going to pass out riding my motorcycle. And I don't care what you say. I'm just never going to do it. If that's what you want to do, then that is okay. There is nothing wrong with that. That is totally 100% okay. But if you think that wearing that, riding around your neighborhood and going to the grocery store and all that, if it makes you feel cool, like cool, man, I'm super cool, bro, and you want to wear it, wear it. Whatever you want to do. I'm not going to do it. You're going to melt. It's going to be hot. And I'm not trying to sway you away from it, but if you want to do it, but don't push your stuff on somebody else. When I ATGATT is when I adventure travel. If I'm going and I am riding, say, I'm taking off for a week, 10 days, 2 weeks, whatever, doing some adventure, go watch my Big Bend video. Guess what you're going to see? It was even 100 degrees down there. I had my jacket, I had my gloves, I had my motocross boots, I had my pants, I had everything on, 100%. Watch the videos. It's the Big Bend. You can't miss it. It's on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/690ADV. Go look at it. It's in the playlists. That's because I'm on an adventure. And I know that I'm going to be on the highway. And I know that I'm going to be off-road. I'm going to be in some technical stuff. Because I'm not going on an adventure to go ride down a gravel road or to just go ride on the street. I do both. And I will basically wear my gear at that point, and I will wear it pretty much the whole trip that I'm gone. Every once in a while when it's hot, I'll still wear my pants. You know, if I'm going to be on a long stretch, like say Monument Valley or something like that, I'm on a trip and there's some areas that I've been to before and I know it's a super long stretch of highway and there's next to nothing as far as traffic goes, I may cargo net my jacket up onto the back of my bike just because it's hot. That's it. But that's when I totally, truly ATGATT myself up, is when I'm adventure traveling and I'm actually going to be out in it and I'm putting down tons and tons of miles. If I know I'm going to go out for the whole day, and ride with my buddies, I'm going to gear up. I'm just going to gear up. That's the way it works. But if I'm just doing some local bumping around, go to my office, which is 2 or 3 miles away, go to the grocery store, get stuff like that, I'm not going to do it. And don't tell me that I'm stupid because I'm not wearing all my gear. I get it. That's how you feel. Congratulations. You have one in your mind. But in my mind, I think I don't even think you're right. I don't even think you're right. That's the beauty part, as I don't even think you're right. So as far as new riders go, as far as ATGATT, all the gear all the time, how do you feel about it? Do you really think that you need to wear all your gear all of the time, no matter where you go? Just send me a comment or something like that. If you're listening to this on YouTube, do a comment down below. Or if you're on the podcast listening, Apple Podcasts or that type of stuff, just shoot me an email, 690adv@gmail.com, and tell me how you feel about it. Just in the subject line, just put ATGATT on there. And I'd love to hear your comments on what your opinion is. And if you're a seasoned rider, how do you feel about ATGATT? What is your true definition of when you should or when you shouldn't? Or should you just if you're just completely dumb if you don't do it all the time? That's my personal opinion. New riders and stuff like that, a helmet at all times. And if you're totally traveling out, like if you're just getting into this and you want to adventure travel and you're on the highway, like literally on the highway, like an interstate or something like that, it's really, really a good idea to gear up and put all your stuff on. But I'm not going to sit there and hammer you if you're not geared up. And if you're not wearing a helmet, man, that's your choice. I don't think it's a good idea. But at the end of the day, it's pro-choice, your choice, and you can do whatever in the heck that you want. So, that's my personal opinion. I don't know how you feel about it. But that is exactly who, what, when, where, and how I feel about the ATGATT situation. And I just want to get it out there because I don't really talk about it a whole lot. But boy, I sure get a lot of people that, they know everything and they just want to tell me exactly how I need to be and how I need to handle my business. Well, I'll tell you what, you want me to ATGATT all the time? Then be my sponsor, pay me a lot of money, and buddy, I'll wear whatever you want me to all the time. But put your money where your mouth is or shut your mouth. That's it. Put your money where your mouth is or shut your mouth. Anyway, new riders, that's one of those things, some of the things you might want to think about, especially when riding, when you're out there, be very proactive in what you're doing and please pay attention. Everybody says, look both ways before you go through an intersection. Intersections are the absolute worst. Don't look once, don't look twice. I mean, even if it's quick, scan the road quick, but also be very, very thorough in how you're scanning the road because intersections are horrible no matter where you're at. Even at very, not active intersections. Intersections are horrible, and street signs, and also pay attention when you're on those country roads too. When you're out there in country roads and you have mailboxes you're flying by and you're bumping on those twisties and stuff like that, those blind driveways are so dangerous. Just be very proactive when you see a mailbox, especially if you're twisting around, with trees and things like that. Just always be aware that, there's people that live there and you may not live in that area. And a lot of times those guys that live there, they're just going to back right out onto the road. They're not even going to pay attention. And they're not thinking about motorcycle riders or anything like that. That's your job. Now, granted, they might be wrong because they're not paying attention backing out. But at the end of the day, you're on the bike and they're a car. You're the smallest fish in the sea. So be prepared on that one. So, that's one of the things that are out there. Make sure that you're just be very, very vigilant when you're riding. And be as safe as you can, because you know what? Riding motorcycles is amazing. And I've noticed on Facebook and a lot of the other, social media stuff, there's a lot of people that are getting into motorcycle riding. And I think it is awesome and amazing. And I think it's super, super cool. I just, when there's new riders, I just want to make sure that, you guys are very safe, pay attention, and learn the skills. It's not a race with motorcycles, because motorcycles could be with you your whole life until you can't ride ever again. So take your time. There's nothing better to do right than ride your motorcycle. If you're going to do it right the first time. You know what I'm saying? And take your time and practice, practice, practice. Practice is the number one thing that a lot of people just, don't want to put a whole lot of time into. They just always want to, they want to do the basics, go get their license, and then they don't want to go on a motorcycle trip. That's just not that's not the smart move. Take your time, man. Practice. Learn your bike. If there's one thing you're ever going to do if you're a new rider, learn the motorcycle. Know everything you can know about your bike. What kind of oil is the best oil or is recommended by other riders that may have that same bike? Just because you got that bike, I promise you, there are thousands of riders out there that have your exact same bike. And to find them out and to ask them, what are the pros and the cons and what are some of the things that I should probably learn about this bike in case anything either comes up or anything like that. It's so good to have knowledge about your motorcycle. I don't care if it's a street bike, a dirt bike, an enduro bike, a dual sport bike, an adventure bike. It just doesn't matter. Know that bike. Research it. You've got a computer, you've got a smartphone. Get on there when you're bored and you have nothing else to do. Understand your motorcycle. Understand it. Because that's the cool thing about motorcycles is that's whenever new riders, it's okay to ask questions, but eventually you're not going to be the new rider anymore. And you really need to know your stuff as much as possible, especially about your bike. You shouldn't have to lean on everybody forever. But there's always questions and there's always things to learn, but do your best to learn the most you can about your motorcycle. And you're not going to know everything about your bike, but just some of the basic stuff like, tires that are best suited for that bike and for the type of riding that you want to do or you think you want to do. Oils that go in it, brakes, chains, how to do chain adjustments, slack adjustments, sag adjustments, how to adjust your suspension if you have adjustable suspension. When do you do that? When do you air down your tires? When do you air your tires up? There's just a lot of things that are just little piddly things that a lot of people just never, ever pay attention to. And it's a great thing to know, especially if you're a new rider to handle your own business. Anyway, hey, you know what? Thank you so much. New riders in ATGATT and my beef with ATGATT. How do you feel about it? Send me an email or give me a comment down below. One more time, KTM of North Texas, Bert, B-E-R-T over there, slmracing.com. Parts, accessories, gear, they got it, man, and they will take care of you. I like to put it out there because those guys are fantastic and they are always super, super helpful and nice to me. And like I said, I've said it once a million times, I get nothing from those guys. $0 and 0 cents. They're just super cool and I promote them because they are awesome. Anyway, you guys get out, be safe. Thank you so much. Any questions, 690adv@gmail.com. You know what I always say, man. Get out there and find your adventure. 690 out.